All right. Well, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Richard Retha. I am the staff member with the APH ConnectCenter, and I'm sorry, Jaws was in my ear. Again, welcome to the National Transition Conversation, the 2023 APH CareerConnect Transition and Employment Resource Roundup. We're going to spend the next 2 hours with each other sharing out important updates in the field of Pre ETS, pre-employment transition services. We've got a jam-packed session, and thank you all for joining. We're going to spend the first half hour sharing out some of the latest and greatest happenings with the Connect Center, namely Career Connect and Family Connect. That will be followed by 4 presentations from our featured presenters, and we will introduce them right around the half-hour mark of the hour 1. And right shortly after, maybe 10 minutes within hour 2, we're going to go do more networking with others who are attendees who will be able to present on their program. So this is a networking opportunity with several presentations. If you have questions for all of us, please put them in the chat and we will address them either during or after our presentation. I want to introduce our Connect Center staff and volunteers. Thank you all for being here. Lori, Lisa, Melissa, Katie, and Lee. And our featured presenters are also geared up. Marianne with Insight, Jane with Guide Dogs, and Carla from Mississippi State. And you guys will be going in just a minute. This is the 3rd time we've done the Transition and Employment Resource Roundup. Joe Strechay and I started this 3 years ago, and we were thrilled to see so many people participate. This recording will be available on our YouTube page within 2 weeks. One of the things that we did in preparing for this is realize that it's kind of late in the season to be doing this in May. So we're going to be hosting this again in March of next year. So as you prepare for summer programming, network and recruit staff and students, we're going to have this exact same forum in early March of next year. So know that. I'm excited to do this because I come from the field of transition and want to connect as many people as possible. And we're also doing that through our Transition Hub. Looking at my notes, some of the housekeeping things is not so much housekeeping, but again, I talked about the chat. You can put your questions in there and we'll get to them. We do have a survey that we would love each of you to take. You have seen that on our social media or on our emails that come out each Thursday, especially if you are registered for these webinars. The Connect Center, encompassing Family Connect, Career Connect, and Vision Aware, is mobilizing into one web page. So we're taking everything that we have on those sites and putting it under one web page, APHConnectCenter.org. And in just a moment, Katie will put that survey link in the chat. And if you would please take that survey, we would really appreciate it. It'll give us feedback on how we can best make the Connect Center a movable and tangible experience for you and those you serve. And we will be launching that new site in July. In the meantime, we're doing focus groups, which some of you are a part of, and surveys, which will extend to May 22nd. So thank you so much for participating and taking the survey. We really can't do this without you. Something that I have not really talked about is a listserv. We've had a National Transition Conversation listserv since November of 2021. There are about 40 of you on that list, and we want to double that and really impact how we serve and network as professionals. So in just a moment, we'll put that in the chat as well. It's through groups.io, and it's free, and we would love for you to join that. So in the next 25 minutes, the Connect Center staff are going to give updates. Lori and I are going to share about Career Connect and some of the things that we're doing. Lisa's going to share about college conversations. Lee's going to wrap it up with the Job Seekers Toolkit. And then Melissa's going to share out some Family Connect happenings. And then we're going to go right into it. So Lori Scharf, welcome to National Transition Conversation. You want to start out by sharing what's new with Career Connect?
Okay, sorry about that. I've had headset issues, so I just wanted to turn my speech off. So Career Conversations is a monthly presentation with a person who is blind or low vision, and we focus on them and their career and what it's taken them to get there and how they chose that career. And Richard started that a year ago, January, and we run it basically on a school calendar. So we typically go from September through June. And our next career conversations will be on June 1st, and the presentation will be by Scott Davert of Helen Keller National Center for Deaf, Blind Youth and Adults. And you can also find the archives of that on our YouTube channel.
The other thing I will say about that, Laura, is as of now, we've got over 15 interviews specifically to Career Conversations, and a handful of pre-recorded interviews that we did before we coined it Career Conversations that you and your students and your job seekers can go and listen to. It's great networking, informational interviewing, and opportunities for them to listen and learn, and just giving them an assignment to really learn how people who are blind and low vision are doing it in the world. Teachers, doctors, lawyers, musicians, you've name it, we're getting to them. And if you haven't found somebody you want us to interview, or we haven't interviewed, please let us know, and we'll make sure we get to them.
We almost have the whole year booked, so we probably wouldn't get to them until January, but it's always good to plan in advance.
Absolutely.
And then we have Employment Connections, which we just did our inaugural episode back in April. And that was a really fun event. I worked with
Russell Schaefer.
His first name just left my head. Thank you, Richard. And we discussed the disclosure process of disability in the employment setting and what opportunities you have at different points and why you may or may not want to disclose in those different types of settings, everything from a resume to a cover letter to after a job offer. And Russell had some really, really good points to bring out, and it was a great dialogue and lots of fabulous questions from our audience. And we will be doing that quarterly. So our next one we're looking at doing in August. So stay tuned for more information on that. And both Career Conversations and Employment Connections also have ACV, REP, and CRC credits associated with them.
And we really want that available to you, the professional out there, to really get the credit for it, but also to participate and share this with those you serve, because we want this to be a very tangible and meaningful resource. So thank you for allowing us to provide that for you. What else is on?
Okay, and we also have the Transition Hub, and the Transition Hub is basically a place where you can place information on your transition programs, and it can be searched as a database by anybody across the country. So if somebody's moving from state to state, or they want to go to college somewhere, but they want to do a pre-employment program in the state they're going to be attending college, you know, they can go and they can search and figure out, you know, what options there are. And there's also some other informational items on there as well.
And that has been the Transition Hub has been around for 2 years, and we're adding some new features to it. So we're excited to be unveiling that shortly. Is that everything, Lori?
That is everything you gave me, because I covered the other thing was the YouTube, and I worked.
Well, you are fast. And yes, the chat is being fixed. The other thing is on Career Connect, we do have lots of blogs, and we're really passionate about those blogs and articles. They're written both by peers, by students, by job seekers. So we have that student voice up there talking about preparing for college, the struggles they faced during the pandemic, getting their first job, getting their second job, getting work experience, learning how to disclose and how to advocate for themselves in various settings. And Lisa and I have worked closely with our student advisory body to bring out those voices, and we're doing more of that. So please visit our blogs and share them. They're short reads, they're easy reads, and they're great opportunities to start discussions in the classroom or for beginning employment search. And then we have the professional perspective on blogs, where those of you who are practitioners, rehabilitation counselors, teachers, special educators, job coaches, we share your voice on how you work with your population on getting people ready for the world of work and transition. So if you have a thought, an idea, and you want to contribute, please do send us an email, and we'd love to connect with you. We have a pretty expansive advisory body. I think last count we had 28, and several of you are on the call. So thank you, and we love having your contributions as well. I will next go to Lisa. Lisa Lloyd, welcome. Lisa is a friend and colleague. She's been with us since almost the start when I came over to Career Connect, and she's going to talk to us about college conversations.
Hi, everybody. I'm Lisa Lloyd. As Richard just mentioned, I am in Sunnyvale, California, and I am with College Conversations. We do quarterly webinars, and we have one coming up, which we're really excited about. It's on May 18th. And the title is Communicating Your Needs with Vocational Rehabilitation, or DOR, whatever you call it in your state. We have 2 students that we've pulled from our student advisory committee, of which we have about 17 located all around the United States. They're all blind and low vision, and they're going to be sharing their personal experiences with DOR or VR. And then we also have 2 to 4 professionals who've worked in DOR, VR professionally, Alexis Reed from Florida and Allison Stephen from Idaho. And we're going to be talking about focusing and streamlining approaches and vetted practices and encouraging a proactive rehabilitation experience. And the audience is going to be high school students, could be university or college students currently attending, their parents, and everybody who supports them. We go for 90 minutes, and we have lots of Q&A at the end. And what I like about it the best is just hearing straight from our students what their best practices have been that have made them successful, what they've felt challenged by, how they've overcome it. So hopefully you'll be able to join us. We also have done a couple other webinars, and the last one we did was the economics of college and campus life. We had 4 blind low vision students that were in attendance, and they shared how they successfully navigated the cost of attendance. We had about 38 participants. And again, it's very national. These students are from all over the US, and it's great to be able to hear what's working and learn all of these different tips.
And no, thank you, Lisa. And I want to underscore that we do this quarterly as we do Employment Connections, whereas Career Conversations is monthly, with the exception of July and August, as Lori pointed out earlier. I do want to say, though, College Conversations, the idea behind that, like so many other programs, is really to put that in front of high school students who are thinking about, should I go to college? Am I college ready? Do I need to go to a training center or a residential program? We address that through our College Conversations webinars. And the idea is to listen and participate and ask questions of both the student panelists and the professionals, because we try to balance it out like we do our blogs, so that you, the teacher, and your high school student, or the parent and your child, can really learn how college can be an option for you. I wish I had that 30 years ago, and I would have had a lot more confidence going into college. So luckily I graduated, but having programs like this is very, very helpful. And that's why we provide these through Career Connect and the Connect Center. Anything else on that, Lisa?
I was just going to say that we really work hard to diversify our panels so that we have
Yes.
females and males on board, some people who are blind, some people are low vision, and also a varied amount of experience. We had an international student on the economics of college and campus life. And so that was very interesting to get that perspective, but also how accessible, are things, if you're navigating these systems, example, filling out your FAFSA form. And so we get down to the nitty gritty of what that's like if you're trying to use different accessible formats. So that's not talked about in mainstream very much. So
And
helpful to our
and we do get students, as Lisa said, diversified, but students who are attending community college, large and small universities, private and
Right.
state run. So we try to balance it all out. And we've got 3 webinars, the third one happening next week. So again, if there are topics you would like us to tackle, we're up for the challenge. Lisa, thank you so much. I know you've got a busy schedule. You're welcome to stay on. I'm going to move it over to Lee Huffman, who is out of West Virginia. He's going to share with us the Job Seekers Toolkit. And Lee, Marianne, if Lee forgets something, you can chime in too. Lee, good afternoon.
Because I might forget some things. Thank you, Richard, and thanks everybody for joining us today. Today, I'm going to be talking about the Job Seekers Toolkit, and what I'm going to do is talk a little bit about where it came from, what it is currently, what you'll find there, who our audiences are for the Job Seekers Toolkit, and really kind of how to get set up. And originally, the Job Seekers Toolkit was basically a PDF document, which is just about, a very large document where you just read about different ways to find a job. And that's really what it was. But through a partnership with Insight, Marianne's group, it has been turned into, through the collaboration, really an online learning management system, and just a great tool that walks job seekers through a chronological, step-by-step way that we feel is best for anybody looking for a job, regardless of visual impairment, to really kind of think thoughtfully through the job search process and work through those different methods and strategies. So in the Job Seekers Toolkit, number 1, it is completely accessible. Number 2, it is completely online, completely self-paced, and maybe one of the best things of all, it's completely free. And it's really a wealth of information that was put it all in one place for people looking for a job. And when you get into the meat of it, there are 5 courses or 5 modules. The first one is really self-awareness. It's really getting either down on paper or down digitally. What do you bring to the table? What are your skills? Really knowing yourself a little better. What are your skills? What are your weaknesses? What do you like to do? What do you definitely know you don't like to do? And thinking about, as you start your job search process, what fields might I be interested in? And if I'm interested in a field, what gaps exist? What skills do I need to do to learn more about? What certifications do I need to seek out? Any more training, things like that. Become really self-aware of what you are, or what you bring to the table for a job process. Course 2 is career exploration. Once you get some ideas about, what kind of careers you would like to do, how do you explore to see what's really involved in those careers? And if you think of just a career field of banking, maybe you're a numbers person, which I'm not. But if you're really a numbers person and you think banking is something that you want to get into, there's more than just a bank teller. There are personal bankers. There are personal finance folks who provide strategy for building wealth. There are lenders, people who specifically work in lending for autos, people who work specifically in home mortgages. There are people who are underwriters. There are people who are investment folks and help you get a CD at your bank. So there's all types of things that might be in that career field that you may have not thought about. One of the things that walks people through is something such as how to conduct an informational interview, asking people, what do you like about your job? How did you get it? How do you deal with accessibility issues within your job? What's the culture like? Also, if you have the opportunity to actually go into a place and job shadow people for a day, some of these things are some of the things that are involved in course 2. Course 3 talks about the resources that are needed to actually find a job. I always say that back when I was looking for a job, my first one, everybody went to the newspaper. And basically the newspaper is nowhere that people go to look for a job today. And quite honestly, a lot of it's through networking and who we know that work in different companies. But there are many ways to find a job today that were different than they were 5 years ago. Technology has changed. The Zoom platform that we're on today has made interviewing different, has made job search different. And so we cover different ways to learn about what jobs are available in course 3. Course 4 is all about the interview and how important that is. Once you get to the point where you're going in for an interview, what do you need to do to present the best foot forward? Also, there's information in there about disability. How do you disclose a disability during the interview process? Or do you? What are the pros? What are the cons? What works for me may not work for somebody else. So it walks you through things to think about and consider as you're doing that, how to follow up. It also, for example, after all of these and throughout all of these modules and courses, there are activities where you stop the learning process, you go put into practice what you've been reading about. And one of those things is to set up like a table of people you've spoken to, who you've interviewed with, their name, what just talked about during the interview. Did you follow up? Did you send them a thank you letter? And keeping all that organized for each person you speak to and for each job that you interview for. So all of that's entailed in the interview process. And then course 5 is really about maintaining employment and advancing the job once you have that job. In case you really like what you're doing and you want to advance, there's information in there about how to make sure that you remain valuable to your employer. So that's what the Job Seekers Toolkit is. Those are the 5 modules that are involved. And who is it for? Obviously, it's for people looking for a job, mostly people in transition, 14 to 24, that age group. People either are looking for jobs from high school to work, or from college or post-secondary school to work, or even people who are early in their career and still need to learn some of these job search skills to get them to the next level. It is also for professionals in the field. This is a great way to really kind of bolster your classroom material. Having kids go through all this information and be an open discussion in a classroom where people can share their personal experiences. This is great fodder for that. And even for parents, I would suggest that parents look at this and really be able to help their kids through thinking about some of these different activities. And even we're coming up on summer. This would be a great summer project for a 16-year-old, for a parent to say, hey, over the course of summer, let's go through this and see what we can learn over the course of the summer. And so really several different audiences there, a lot of information that's good for anybody in those particular situations.
And we are free. The Job Seekers Toolkit is free. We have a 6-7 minute video that we will share in the chat if we haven't. It's a great packaged video on what Lee just shared. And we're happy to come out and do presentations on Zoom to your audiences this summer, to your residential programs, summer camps, and talk about the toolkit as well as Career Connect. So please know that we're here. Lee, thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Thanks, Richard.
In just a minute, we're going to just get started with our presentations. Before that, though, I want to say welcome to those of you who had just joined the National Transition Conversation. Again, this is being recorded and archived, and you'll have access to this recording within about 2 weeks. Okay. Melissa Matthews is our content manager for Family Connect. And Melissa, you've got the stage. Welcome.
Thank you so very much, Richard. And I will talk quick because I know that there are a lot of amazing things to come. As far as Family Connect, we kind of similarly have lots of blogs, and it is a space for parents to really feel connected to others and hear inspiring stories as well as be relatable. So our blogs are definitely a huge piece to parents as well as professionals. And we also continue with our own webinars. We have quite a few coming up. We've had 2 already with physical activity and the importance coming up this summer with aquatics and everything. We also are offering in June, getting in charge of getting around. So a lot of teens have that, if I'm not going to be a driver, how do I still feel like I'm contributing to maybe the person who is driving you around? So that is a 2-part webinar series. And similarly, we are trying to provide a lot of the information in the Job Seeker Toolkit as well as careers geared towards parents. We know that they digest content a little bit differently than professionals as far as their ability to understand a lot of the educational terminology and stuff. So we're really trying to gear the content in parent-friendly language, again, as well as in the time frame that parents really have in order to be able to devote to a webinar and learning materials. So kind of real quick on Family Connect, but I am very excited to be a part of this.
Melissa, thanks so much. And if you want to throw your email in the chat before you leave, if people want to reach out to you directly, feel free to do so.
Thank you.
Katie, let me check in with you really quick. Are there any other questions that we need to address before we go over to our presenters? Oh, Katie, I think you sent that to me.
I did. I'm trying to do too many things at once.
Sorry, don't worry. Go ahead.
I am not seeing any questions right now. So,
Okay, great. And then we're
and
going
I'll
to
put the video in the chat to everyone.
Fantastic. All right. Well, look at that, folks. We're ahead of schedule. How rare is that? So we talk fast. We're caffeinated. At least I am. Thank you, Lori, Lee, Melissa, Lisa, and Katie for all your help putting this together. But the show's just getting started. We're going to do not 3, but 4 presentations over the next 35 to 40 minutes. And these are folks we've worked with really closely. So we're going to have, by the order I saw you come in. So Marianne, I'm going to have you go first and talk about Insight in just a minute, followed by I think, Jane, you came in next and you can talk about guide dogs and all the cool things you're doing. Carla, you will be third. And then our 4th person is Hannah Christensen. Hannah, we did try to promote you as panelists, but if you don't want to be a panelist and you want to speak from the audience, you're more than welcome to. You'll go on the last after Carla. And then those of you who I talked to from Arizona, from the LEAP program, the San Francisco Lighthouse, and then Leslie, if you want to talk about Perkins, you guys will have 3 or 4 minutes each to talk about your programs in hour 2. So that's kind of the lineup. And if there are others out there who want to speak on behalf of their program, send us a chat and we'll make that happen. Marianne with Insight, a great partner with our Job Seekers Toolkit and so much more. Welcome. Good afternoon.
Thank you, Richard, and hello, everybody. Thanks for having me. Richard is doing this on purpose. I am Swiss by birth and therefore obviously obsessed with time. So starting a minute early is awesome for me. Yes, first and foremost, we had a fantastic partnership and it's ongoing and continuously improving to bring to you the free resource, the Job Seekers Toolkit. And Lee did a fantastic job outlining that. I have nothing to add, except I'm going to kind of embed it into my introduction to Insight, who we are, what we do, and what we can do in terms of Pre ETS opportunities and other training that we embed or services that we embed in our career skills training programs that might be of use to you. Typically, Insight is working with older job seekers than maybe the APH target audience is. But our goal is, our mission is the same as APH's, and that is getting blind, low vision talent employed with organizations and finding fulfilling careers, right? So for that, to that purpose, we try very hard to make that perfect match between job seekers and employers. And so we really have 2 target audience. One is the job seekers that we offer our programs and services to. The other one is working with employers to help them understand that it is neither cost prohibitive nor a major imposition to make reasonable accommodations for particularly blind and low vision job seekers. So we're trying to approach the problem from 2 sides. So first and foremost, our employment readiness programs and resources, of course, start with the Job Seekers Toolkit. It's housed on our learning management system called Insight U. I encourage you all to check it out. We actually, the one thing I wanted to add, we actually have several state agencies that are using the coursework to work through all these components that Lee outlined with their clients to make sure that they really are ready when that job opportunity or that interview comes their way. Another really important program that we offer, we call Promote. It's Professional Mastery of Office Technology for Employment, also a mouthful. And the whole idea is to help folks who are blind or low vision, who have beginner or intermediate proficiency with office technology, particularly a Microsoft Office suite of products, help them go from intermediate to advanced. And that helps folks who are currently employed getting more productive and working faster and more efficiently with the office technology, or get people trained up before they even take a job. That's a really intensive 1-month program, full-time instruction. It's all virtual, but it really gets people where they need to be, especially if it's an employer that uses Microsoft Office and not any Apple products. Another key component that we offer, and we typically embed that in many of our training programs that are focused on career skills, is personal branding. And the Job Seekers Toolkit addresses that to some degree, but we're offering help with professional help through a consulting firm with resume building, and almost more importantly now, building a powerful LinkedIn profile. So everybody who signs up for a training program with us, we expect them to, if they don't have one, create a LinkedIn profile. If we can and they need and want that, we will help them with that. And we're actually looking at partnering with an organization that offers a 3-month program that dives much deeper into LinkedIn, how to make the best use of it, and make sure that you actually get the benefits that it provides. I know that's a bit of a stretch for the younger generation. I have 2 kids in their mid-20s who tell me LinkedIn is the most uncool thing they've ever heard of. And I keep telling them, my friends, if you really want to get gainfully employed, the first thing people will look at is your LinkedIn profile. So, you know, it's a continuous learning experience both ways with me and my kids. So, and then not even finally, part of that whole package is also Ensight's curated job board that's specifically geared towards the blind and low vision community. And I think we're the only job board that focuses this specifically on this community. And we have about 300 plus users currently. It's only a little over a year old, so we're still growing. But it's absolutely free for users to create a profile, upload a resume, and make themselves visible to recruiters. Any position posted on our job board is meant to be filled by a blind or low vision job seeker. So this is a great place to find out who are the employers, what are they looking for, and we have resources available both for employers in terms of quarterly webinars to help them make their websites and their documents more accessible and make sure they have inclusion embedded in a meaningful way in their organization. And for job seekers, where we have regular webinars giving them tips and tricks and additional free resources on how to, you know, up their game in terms of a job search. There's constantly new positions open. There's constantly more job seekers added. So feel free to check that out as well. It's definitely worth your while, and then reach out to us directly if you have any questions. After my presentation here, I'm going to put the link to the job board in the chat, as well as my own email address. Please reach out. We'd love to talk to you. I don't know if anybody has any questions I can answer right now.
You've got about 3 minutes left if people have questions for the amazing Marianne and Insight.
Richard is way too kind to me, but I have to say this has been an amazing partnership, and I look forward to many more years of productive collaboration.
Somebody raised their hand. We prefer the chat, but if you can put your question in the chat, that would be preferred. Do you publish outcomes data, Marianne?
We typically don't publish outcomes data, and I'm assuming, I don't know exactly what you're looking for in terms of outcomes data. You mean job placements? That we haven't published it yet. We're still a very young organization, but if you ask us, then we'll be happy to share on a one-off basis. And we do share outcomes with our partners at vocational rehabilitation agencies across the country, obviously. We also work with them throughout whatever program they enroll their clients in to make sure that they understand how their clients are progressing and what the ultimate outcomes are. We do in terms of outcome, yeah, exactly, job placements. We share that on a smaller scale, but as things progress, I envision that we will have an outcomes section on our website that shows how we're placing folks who enroll in our programs into specific careers. Yeah, that's actually an outstanding question, and I'll take that as an action item.
All right, anything else with 1 minute to go? All right. Oh, Marian,
Yeah, absolutely, we do. So
wait, go ahead and answer that. You got one more question there. I'll let you take it.
Exactly. Yeah, we certainly work with job seekers who are not working with a state organization. Absolutely. So the moment you register on APH Connect, our job board, we have a colleague who's a senior recruiter who will reach out to everybody on that job board and find out exactly what they're looking for. Do we still need anything to complete your profile? And try and help make those matches. Yeah, actually, the question about do we assist those on the autism spectrum? So our priority is blind and low vision, but we are fully aware that since all of our training and materials are accessible to the blind and visually impaired community, it also makes them more accessible to other folks who are neurodiverse learners, for example. So absolutely, we typically say for our programs, priority will be given to blind and visually impaired applicants. However, all may apply, and we sometimes have sighted participants. Sometimes we have folks with other disabilities join our programs. We are wide open.
I'll say the same about the Job Seekers Toolkit. It might be geared for blind and low vision with some of the wording and some of the examples, but really anybody can take it and use it. So know that. Marianne, thank you so much.
Thank you again for having me.
My pleasure, and stay warm or cool out there in the East Coast. Jane Flower with Guide Dogs for the Blind. We're doing an exceptional partnership with them this summer, which I think she'll talk about, as well as the other program offerings with for youth and young adults. Jane, good morning. Since you're on the West Coast, I can say good morning.
Good morning. How's everybody? Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you. It's almost not the morning here. It's almost noontime. Thank you so much, Richard, for
Jane, are you okay to not be on camera, or it's up to you?
Oh, I can be on camera.
Okay.
I didn't realize. Yep. Do you want me to flip it on?
Sure.
Okay, hold on 1 second here. Apologize for my hair. These headphones make everything crazy. So can you see me?
Yes. I think
Ish.
so. You're
Okay.
asking the wrong guy, but
Oh,
yeah.
sorry. Oh, okay. So yeah, someone said
Okay.
yes.
All right.
Perfect. Well, thanks, Richard, for having me on today. And yeah, I am the youth outreach specialist at Guide Dogs for the Blind, and I've been with Guide Dogs since 2013. And I've had guide dogs for over 20 years. I'm currently working my third guide dog. And just really excited to be here. I'm being partnered with the American Printing House and connecting with all of you today. So I wanted to share a little bit of exciting news about some of our youth happenings at Guide Dogs for the Blind. We're really working on strategizing and gearing up a variety of youth offerings for people transition age and even a bit younger as well, to help people basically to inform and prepare people about the guide dog lifestyle. For those of you that have a guide dog or work a guide dog or know someone that has a guide dog, understand the complexities of working with a dog and the extreme differences between working with a dog and a cane, and why our orientation mobility skills are so important to have prior to qualifying for a guide dog. So what we're really trying to do is not only inform people about their choices, obviously, you know, to use a cane or a guide dog, both absolutely perfect, viable options for mobility. The guide dog option is not an option necessarily for everybody. Some people are just perfectly happy and using their cane, and that is great. I think the beautiful thing is that people have choices and they can decide for themselves which mobility option will work best for them. For those people who are interested in getting a guide dog, we really want to prepare them for what the guide dog lifestyle might look like. And so all of those things are kind of linked into all of our programming. So with that said, I will start just share a little bit with you quickly about our careers and Canine Connections program that's happening this summer. This is woo, in collaboration with the American Printing House CareerConnect program. It's a free program. It's taking place August 7th through the 12th. We're pretty much full at this point. We have 15 applications in. We're still waiting for people to kind of complete some of their paperwork, but we're really, really excited. And so it's a week-long deep dive into all things career exploration. That will be Richard's side of things, and also a deep dive into what it might be like to, have a job and career, and also managing the guide dog throughout that process, through the interview process, through, going to and from work every day, all the responsibilities that come with living and working with a guide dog. So a couple of the highlights that week, participants will get to work a guide dog to see what that's like. They'll get to have a dog overnight to experience just the caregiving, what is involved with just having a dog, the feeding, watering, taking the dog out, grooming, all of those important things. We'll have some really fun workshops, and Richard as well is going to have some great workshops, and they're also going to get to do informational interviews with some guide dog staff. So, believe it or not, we don't just give out free dogs, and we don't just play with puppies all day. We have a variety.
Man.
I know. We have a variety of jobs. We have accounting, we have facilities, we have chefs, we have housekeeping, we've got administrative positions, volunteer roles. So there's a variety of different jobs at guide dogs that people can interview and learn about. So that is that week. So we're really excited. And then we have our summer camp program, which has been around for probably about 15 years. And that is happening at the end of July. Again, that camp is full. It's the 24th through the 28th. And that is more just a deep dive into all things guide dogs. So similar to what we're doing with the Careers in Canines program, but just focused on the guide dog lifestyle. So the same with the dog walks and the dog overnight experience, but really more of a larger focus on the orientation mobility piece, because that is basically a huge part of it and a requirement to qualify for a guide dog. And again, that program is free as well. And then we have our orientation and mobility immersion program. We don't serve youth under the age of 18 for this program, but 18 to 24 for sure. And this is a free week-long orientation and mobility immersion program. So people that come into this program get about 25 hours of orientation and mobility. At Guide Dogs, we saw that there is, as you all know, a huge gap in services across the country. And so we want to just help, do our part to fill those gaps. You don't need to be interested in a guide dog per se. That's how the program started, was to help people transition from cane to guide dog. But we are really just, if somebody needs and they don't have access to O&M training in their home area, or it's very minimal, we would love to be able to provide some intensive O&M training to you and or your client. And so we have a couple partner agencies we work with, the San Francisco Lighthouse for the Blind, the Earl Baum Center for the Blind. And so it's, like I said, this program again is free. People come in and are matched one-on-one with an orientation mobility specialist for the week, and they get intensive O&M training and get to really focus on those areas of orientation mobility that maybe they struggle with. So maybe it's street crossings, or, walking in a straight line, or, using their other senses to help with orientation, whatever it is that they need to focus on. So the application, I will put all of this information into the chat when I'm finished. And then the last program I really want to highlight is not so much for youth transition. In a way it is, but it extends from kids who are 5 years old that are blind all the way through older adults. So we have, if you haven't heard of our Canine Buddy program, it typically was for families who had a child that was blind. And we have opened up this program nationwide. And it's for anybody who may not qualify for a guide dog, or does not really see a guide dog in their life, or, just would like to have a companion animal. It's not a service dog. It has no access rights. It's basically a pet. We would love to have you apply for our Canine Buddy program, and we'll place a dog in your home for free. We love when families apply with young children who potentially want to grow up and get a guide dog, because this will put a dog in their home and they really get all that hands-on experience. So when they decide to apply for a guide dog, they already have all the dog piece of that kind of taken care of. They've been around a dog, they understand dogs, they know how to feed them, how to give them water, pick up after them, all of those responsibilities. That's a huge part of having a guide dog. So, and again, that program The dog is free. We've also extended all the services we give to our guide dog clients through that program as well. So they'll get free vet care for the life of the dog, follow-up services, in-home assistance if needed, etc. Those are our highlights of our youth services. And I can, again, put all of those in the chat, and I would love to answer any questions anybody has if I have any time left, Richard.
You got about 2 minutes, and
Okay.
there is some background noise. Jane, are you in a loud area, or somebody
Yeah,
has?
I'm at my husband's office.
Okay, you're
that's why.
fine. You're fine.
Yeah,
And that's
yeah.
it's Jane, guys. So
Yeah,
deal with
it's
it.
me. Thank you. Sorry.
No worries.
Yeah.
Any quick questions in the next 2 minutes for Jane? Yeah, we are super excited about careers in canines, and Lori will be a part of that too. Virtually, Lori will be on Zoom with us for the week to complement some of the topics and discussions we'll have. Lisa, are you still a panelist? You can ask a question.
I am. Yes. My question was to get the 25 hours of mobility and orientation. Is that for people who are already signed up to get a guide dog, or
No. No, it's not a requirement. Sometimes people will apply for a guide dog and don't qualify because of lack of O&M, and we may refer them to that program. But people can come straight into that program. They don't have to be, they don't have to have an application.
And is that on site, that program?
Say that one more time.
Is that on site? The 25 hours?
It's through our partner agency, the San Francisco Lighthouse. They would be at the Lighthouse or at the Earl Baum Center. And we do also, it's not every class, but we do also hold that OMI program on our campus as well, in San Rafael, and every once in a while up in Oregon as well. But it's not a regular occurrence that it's on campus. But we do visit the campus. They do as part of the program. If they have not gone through the program before, or do not have or have had a guide dog, they do visit the campus and get to walk with a guide dog to experience that if they're interested.
Thank you.
Well, Jane, thank you again.
Yep.
Oh, scholarships. You want to answer that question?
Not well. So all the programs are free. And if we do have, I don't know which program you're referring to, but if all the travel cost is paid for the OMI program, for our 2 summer camp programs, if somebody needs assistance with travel costs, we will help pay for the travel costs, because we don't want anybody not to be able to attend because of financial hardships. So no worries there.
Well, Jane, thanks again. I'll let you put
Yep.
stuff in the chat, and
I
feel free to
will.
hang out as long as you'd like.
Okay.
Carla,
I will actually have to sign off, Richard, because I'm heading south. I have to get up to the airport, but I'll put everything in the chat.
fantastic.
Okay.
Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Safe
Thanks, everybody.
travels.
And thank you.
Good. Carla, are you there on the line? I feel like I'm a radio host.
Hi there, Richard. I am there on the line. Hi, how are you? Good.
All right. Well, welcome again to the National Transition Conversation. You've got the floor. So tell us what's up, what's new with the 4 to 24 app.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, so hi, everybody. I'm Carla Antonelli, and I work with the National Research and Training Center on Blindness and Low Vision as a researcher there, and we're housed at Mississippi State University. And our research center, our purpose there is to improve employment outcomes for people who are blind or have low vision. We do that through research and training and outreach, and just providing products out to the community. And we serve, all of those resources and information goes out to people who are blind or have low vision, to professionals who are working in the field, and to employers, just kind of everybody in the community who might be benefit from those things. So today I'm here to talk with you about one of the products that we've created, and this is the 4 to 24 app that Richard mentioned. And this is something that we created in our last sort of project cycle, and it's been out since about 2020, 2021 timeframe when we got it published. And this is a free resource that we created, and we designed it specifically for parents of children or youth with blindness or low vision, and again, just specifically written to the parents themselves. And the focus of the app itself is to build independence over time and help to prepare that young person for successful employment and independent living kind of as an adult as they grow up. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about the app itself and what it includes and how it works, but I wanted to kind of start off with a couple of notes just to kind of things to keep in mind. One is that it is free of cost. As I mentioned, this is just a completely free resource. There's no cost to users. And there's also, it doesn't run ads, and there are no like in-app purchases or anything like that that you have to do or that you're expected to make. And it doesn't do those, you know, a lot of times if you download the free kind of, you know, games or different things, you have to sit through the annoying ads to get to the next part. It doesn't have any of that. So this is just a straight up free resource, just like going to your library. Another note that I wanted to mention is it's an informational app, so it's getting information out to families and to youth, but it's not a curriculum at all. So it's not something that replaces services of any kind. It doesn't replace a curriculum for school or instruction or anything else you would be getting kind of from a direct service provider in your community. It's just providing information, getting information into the hands of families. If we designed it specifically for families because there are, you know, a lot of the resources that are out there go directly to professionals, which is wonderful because we need lots of information, right, out to the professionals. But we also wanted to get something that kind of goes directly to parents, kind of written in the kind of in terms that they would find easy to understand and easy to kind of consume, because we know that sort of the expectations that a parent has about their child and what they're going to be capable of doing can have a really big impact on their employment as an adult as they grow up. So we wanted to kind of meet that need. And also because we know that the better informed a parent is, the more they can advocate for their child, and they kind of know what's out there, what's available or should be available, or what at least they could try to manage to get for their child, especially if they're in one of these areas that's a bit underserved. We want them to at least know that there are such things as orientation and mobility training and things like that, that they can try to avail themselves of in some way. So I know our topic today is on summer transition programming, and I'm hoping that also I can kind of talk a little bit more about how this could go about a little bit later, but how some of the things that are in the app could be useful to kind of get some ideas of things that you could use to work on in some summer programs. So for the app itself, I wanted to mention too that it did start out from kind of the basis of transition, but we kind of wanted to expand it a lot to cover a lot more than just those what we typically think of as the transition years, so that, you know, kind of starting at 14 and going up. As the name of the app kind of hints at, it actually is for a much wider age range. So 4 to 24 is indicating that we're actually going from age 4 years old, all the way up to 24 years old, with the idea being that we're kind of trying to cover all of those education years. So from age 4, when we're in, you know, kind of the preschool areas and trying to start to build those skills about, you know, even academics and learning about things, what is appropriate, age appropriate to learning about, you know, independent living and organization in your home and things like that, helping out with things, all the way up through to age 24 is kind of into your early career, whether you've done college or if you're going straight into a vocation after high school or after some training, to kind of get you into that job placement. So the way it works is it sends what we call modules kind of out over time, over that long time span. And a module is sort of like a mini article, and it sends out this information. It'll be kind of a bite-sized piece of one particular topic, and it'll include this overview and say kind of this is why it's important for your child to think about this. It'll have this list of resources, like other places that you can go to learn more, and also this list of activities, like here's something you could do with your son to work on tech skills. Here's something you could do with your daughter to work on her academics, for things like that. And so a couple of small examples would be like, here's a way that you could help them learn skills to do just simple meal prep or help with meal prep as kind of the elementary age. Or in high school, here's why it's so important to help them get some work experience right now, and here's how to kind of go about doing that. So in a sense, it's sort of like a bit like a clearinghouse, because, for example, within these each individual topics in these modules, we'll refer to and provide links to a lot of stuff that we've already heard today that has been mentioned. We talk about the Job Seekers Toolkit a lot. We refer to and link to APH's Career Connect and Family Connect over and over for many, many different topics, all the things their blogs and things have touched on. So those are the modules, and they're very much self-paced, like when the person receives something, and the amount of information averages out where there would be around 2 a month or so if they were going at that pace. But it's very much it's at your own pace. As you get finished with one, you sign it off and you get the next one in the next day or so. Really importantly, I wanted to let you know that the accessibility is built into the app. Like when we created it, we made sure that it was built in such a way that the accessibility is built in, and so it's going to be very usable for a person with a vision impairment. The other thing, I don't think I mentioned this yet, was that as the youth is growing up, once they hit age 16, they can actually have their own account or their own, portion of the account if their parents used one already. If their parent hasn't started with it already, they can, from age 16 and up, just create their own account and begin using the app themselves. And that language is written directly to them. Here are some activities that you can do. Here's something you can talk with your teacher about, with your, vocational rehabilitation counselor about, things like that. So, they'll be able to kind of carry it from that point forward, and or work with their parent, work with the other professionals that in their life that they're working with on different things. We're very, it's intended to be very, very collaborative process. Okay, let's see. I wanted to let you know quickly that it's available for iPhone. It's on the App Store. It's just called 4. It's the digit 4, TO, digits 24. So 4224. And you can find that on the App Store for iPhone, on Google Play for Android. And we also have a web app. If you want to just go on a browser, you could go 4224.org. And also wanted to let you know, and this kind of ties back into the ideas for summer programming, we very much encourage for parents and for students to use the app itself, like actually download it and use it on their phone. If you're a professional, a couple of things we want to just ask for your, you just kind of check it out and see what you think about it. We would love for you to just share the resource to families so that we're getting the word out to as many people as we can. But also, we're very excited that within the last few months, last year or so, we've completed what we're calling the professional portal, which is just basically, it's kind of an online learning course platform where we're hosting that professionals, you guys, can come in to just be able to access the content itself. Now, it doesn't provide all the interactivity that the app does for sending out modules at certain times and that kind of thing, or keeping up, with where you are in your account. But you could access this portal just to go in and see like all of the content that's provided in the app, and that would be a neat way for you to check it out and see what you think of it. And also where you could go to for some ideas for your summer programming. I know a lot of times we talk about, especially for instance with orientation mobility, if you're off for the summer and you might have an opportunity to travel, if you're in an area, a rural area that doesn't have a bus service, for instance, or escalators in your town, and you're going to be in a different city, let's say for a residential program for the summer or something like that, or a summer camp, maybe you've got an opportunity to go and kind of experience some of those things. And so those ideas you might be able to get from the app as you're looking for, for summer activities you could do with your kids. I will put all of this information in the chat, but to get access to that professional portal, we just want you to let us know what your professional kind of information and credentials are, and you just email us at 4-24support at College of Education. So it's college.mstate.edu. And that's where you can go to just email that, and again, we'll give you some links in the chat to where exactly this information is housed. And then you can always reach out to me, Carla Antonelli, and I'll give my email in the chat as well if you have any questions.
Carla, thank you so much.
Yeah.
A lot of good information. Katie did put some stuff in the chat, but feel free to do that.
Awesome.
We're going to move on to one more featured presenter, Hannah Christensen. I'm going to allow you to talk. Let's see. Did I do that right? Hang on.
Can you hear me?
There you go. Yes, all right.
There you go. Sorry.
No problem.
Thank you
Hannah
so
Christensen
much.
is with Envision. Welcome, and we're going to give you 10 minutes as well, since we're partnering with you as well this summer. So take it away,
Yeah.
Hannah.
You know, one of the best ways that we can move the needle forward in helping people who are blind or visually impaired is working together. And so we are really excited to be working with APH. Richard's going to be joining us this summer for our summer program. We're also working with Insight. We have job postings. Envision has been around since the 1930s, and we are part of the National Industries for the Blind. We do have locations in Wichita, Kansas, and Envision Dallas, formerly Dallas Lighthouse for the Blind. Additionally, we have base supply stores at 16 military installations across 11 states. So we are definitely, working to provide employment opportunities for people who are blind or visually impaired, from manufacturing all the way up through technology, jobs, accounting, our child development center. We have educators who are typically sighted and blind and visually impaired working together. So one of the areas that we are really focusing on is the education supports through our community programs department. And our education supports they range from our middle school program all the way up through college success. We have a program called Level Up. So Level Up was developed in 2006 to address the learning gaps between students who are blind or visually impaired and their sighted peers. And so we partner with teachers, families, assistive technology specialists, community professionals, colleges, and universities to give students in middle school, and then a separate program for high school, a hands-on immersive experience in a 1-week residential program. So our middle school program takes place on a community college campus. The students will join us from across the United States, and during that time that they're with us, we really hit on every aspect of expanded core curriculum while they're with us. And for those students ages 14 to 22, we do career exploration and post-secondary exploration to satisfy the Pre ETS programming. We do assistive technology training. Students will learn how to use screen readers and magnification depending on what their vision is and what software they are most in need of using. We offer keyboarding skills for kids who are still needing to maybe get out of the habit of using a tablet for all of their schoolwork, and because that's sometimes what happens is in schools they are given a tablet, which is great, it has great accessibility features, but they're missing that key component of being able to navigate and use a keyboard, which is one of the crucial things that employers are going to need when you go to get a job. We work on orientation and mobility. We're not reteaching orientation and mobility, but we are putting those skills that they're already learning in the schools to test when we navigate our college campus. So our program for the high school is really unique in that we are offering choice sessions. We all take part in a leadership breakfast. The students are going to learn about interpersonal communication, how to craft their resume, develop an elevator pitch so that they can share their interests and learn about the information that might be pertinent to what they want to do when they graduate and exit high school. For the choice morning sessions, they are really technology based. So students who are still needing to work on their assistive technology training can take our computer essentials course. Students who are really looking at what independence is, like budgeting money, can take our money management course. We are also having a cybersecurity course taught by all of our courses throughout the week are taught by the campus professionals. So they are professors at Wichita State University teaching these courses, and we are helping to address the accessibility. So each of our courses is really a mainstream course that has been made to have features and accessible devices and materials so that our students are able to participate fully. And then our newest course this year we're really excited about is called Tackling Transition. So we will have guests from Voc Rehab, the State School for the Blind in Kansas is going to come and have their transitions counselors there. We're also inviting the Disability Service Office professionals at Wichita State University. And of course, Richard's going to come and discuss about APH and CareerConnect. So we are helping students learn all of the different pathways that they can take when they are exiting high school and how many of those pathways intersect. So you may enroll in Voc Rehab, whether you're going to pursue your post-secondary education or if you're looking for direct placement. So there are a lot of overlaps in that. Our afternoon courses are very unique and we're really excited about them. We, like I said, partner with the university, so the students are getting access to all of the labs on campus, from the test kitchen for the culinary arts program, to a metalworking studio for our metalworking and welding project. We'll also be located at Shocker Studios for our video and audio production session. And finally, our electrical engineering and coding session is run by a group called Go Baby Go. And our students are taking toy ride-on cars and building them and then modifying the wiring, the seating, the steering, and the coding for young children who have limited mobility. So for many of our kids who are often seen as having their own mobility issues, this is a really exceptional program. It's very rewarding because they get to provide mobility to somebody else. So we have a jam-packed week from June 18th through the 24th. And we have students that are attending from 11 different states. We have big groups coming from Delaware and another big group coming from Texas. But we are open and available to students from across the U.S. If they have a transition counselor, we are happy to get set up in your state as an authorized provider. If you are looking for more information about the program and how we can support your students in this very unique hands-on 1-week program, we're really happy to share about it.
Hannah, thanks so much. I can't wait to be there in June. In the chat, someone was asking if you can basically put in your vitals.
Yes. So the program is called Level Up. And so we are inviting students to come and level themselves up in whatever way they want to. So we provide a program in June for high schoolers, high school through transition. So as long as they are receiving transition services, then they're eligible to attend. And then for middle school, it's going to be July 10th through the 14th. So I'll share the website. And then we also have our College Success Program, which was formerly with Learning Ally. And when they decided to transition and focus more on being able to provide services for dyslexia and other processing disorders, Envision acquired the College Success Program. And through that, we are able to provide direct mentorship to college students who are blind or visually impaired. All of our mentors are all part-time paid employees. They are blind or visually impaired college graduates currently working in their field of study, and they work directly with the mentees. They can meet, every other week is preferred, but as often as the mentee would like to meet, to discuss things about navigating a post-secondary world. What do you do on campus? You know, our kids have had a team of people on their IEPs helping them make these decisions and moving forward. And then all of a sudden they're expected to have all the answers once they get to college. And that's just
Yep.
not the case. So if we can help in providing that resource, it is an entirely virtual program. So, you know, students can join from any state, any school, and they can access. We do also contract with different state agencies to provide this. It also falls under Pre ETS.
Hannah, thank you so much. Again, I always say that's how I found you guys, through the College Success Program when it was with Learning Ally, and it's just done so many good things. I always refer to the College Success Program as to the kind of the mentor product that CareerConnect used to have, and so we really refer a lot of people to the College Success Program because I think it's a great program. I'm going to let Hannah answer that in the chat. We do need to move on to our other presenters, but Hannah, thank you so much. Please put all your information in the chat. We're going to go into the speed networking round. So I want to thank our four main presenters, Jane, Marianne, Carla, and Hannah, for being with us and doing so much with us throughout the year. We've got a series of other folks. Katie, I might need your help in just a second. The rest of you are going to be speaking from the audience. I have on my list here Arizona, I think, is it Melanie? And then we're going to go with with Hannah Peach for LEAP, and then Melanie, and then the Lighthouse, so James and Daisy, and then Leslie, if you want to present for Perkins, we can go in that order if you want, and you each have up to 5 minutes to give us kind of a short mini presentation on what you're doing. So, do we have Melanie?
Yep, let me get Melanie.
Okay, I'm not a good multitasker, so thank you, Katie.
Sure, she was there. Okay, Melanie Audit.
And
you should be able to talk.
Awesome. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Great. Hi, everyone. My name's Melanie, and I don't think I have video on, but
I don't know if we can enable that. Let me
No
see
worries.
while you're talking. All right. Go ahead, and if we can get it on, I will let you turn it on.
Okay, no worries. Great. Well, hi, everyone. My name is Melanie Audette. I work at Foundation for Blind Children in Phoenix, Arizona, and we work with students of all ages. So we serve individuals with vision loss from birth all the way through adulthood. So we have early intervention services, we have a preschool, we have a school-based program through 4th grade, as well as itinerant services and adult comprehensive program. We also have a partnership with Arizona State University for a bachelor's program in teaching visually impaired, which is newer within the last 3 years. So I'm excited to share a little bit about our transition services that we offer at Foundation for Blind Children. And I'm also going to just drop in the chat our website. Our website is seeitourway.org, and on our website we have our different programs listed under what do we do for our young adults ages 14 through 21. So our programs here at Foundation for Blind Children were all about increasing independence for our students. And so we've done some pretty fun things through our programs, such as getting to train high school students with vision loss how to hike with a sighted guide, and hiking down the Grand Canyon, rafting the Colorado River. We've also taught our students how to sail, and we've taken them down to the Caribbean to sail catamaran sailboats. We've also we have some different residential programs for our young adults in the summer, as well as a year-round program for getting a job. And so to kind of start about our first residential program in the summer we offer is called Teen to Work. And this is a 5-week residential program held during the summer at Arizona State University's campus. Our focus is teaching students with vision loss how to be more independent using the tools necessary for success in the workforce. So students can create resumes, mock interviews, they work in paid internships, and they are able to learn the essential life skills such as meal planning, preparation. Sometimes it's their first time doing laundry, cleaning, organization, problem solving using technology. So we offer assistive technology, orientation and mobility, as well as activities of daily living. And our students in these programs are able to, as I mentioned, gain more independence. We also offer a college prep program, is also housed and runs at the same time and is housed at our college campus. And students are able to receive everything that they need, ADL, AT, O&M, as well as self-advocacy skills, leadership, organization, public speaking, orientation and adjustment to vision loss. We're also providing financial aid assistance, accommodations, planning, and helping students get to their college campuses and begin to explore all of their options. So we're also covering career education and career readiness, making sure students understand kind of what they're getting into, understanding their job goal with vocational rehabilitation, and helping bridge the communication between them and their VR program. And we also offer a Trailblazers program. These are more of a series of week-long programs that we've done some of our big challenge events like sailing in Puerto Rico, rafting the Colorado River, as well as kind of different events that come up throughout the year, going to Washington, D.C. and going to the Library of Congress, National Library Service for the Blind and Visually Impaired, learning about advocacy, disability rights, accessibility. And so the focus of our Trailblazers programs is to help students gain skills in teamwork, leadership, communication, overcoming adversity, and their self-awareness. And so we find a lot of students coming out of this program. We're hoping to give them the confidence to go into their next stage in life, just being more prepared and walking into job interviews with confidence, knowing they've done some pretty amazing things. And our last transition program is our SOAR program. This is a 9-month program that runs from September through May. And this, our target population is working with high school and post-high school students with vision loss. So we're helping students navigate employment and learning these new life skills. So they're able to meet with a one-on-one SOAR coach that will help them in their local community all throughout Arizona, helping them understand how to gain employment, retain, as well as advance in their jobs. And as we know, people, a larger majority in the community of individuals who are able to work are maybe unemployed due to certain barriers. And so we're helping identify what those barriers are, and helping students get a job when they're in high school will help their career overall in getting into their ultimate job goal.
I'm going to give you the hook in about a minute, but you got a minute.
Okay, thank you, Richard. Thanks. Yeah, I'll wrap up. So that's a little bit about our SOAR program. It also stands for success, opportunity, advocacy, and responsibility. Those are our 4 pillar words within this program. So we do a lot of fun things in our programs, and we are looking to expand just beyond Arizona, but we're thankful to get to the partnership with vocational rehabilitation to do these awesome programs. So yes, please let us know if you would like to learn more. I'll drop our website where you can learn more about our programs, as well as look up See It Our Way on YouTube to learn more about our other programs that we do as an organization. And I'm also going to drop my information and email here so that if anyone would like to reach out, you can give me a call or stay in touch.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. A couple of housekeeping. I want to remind our next presenters, you've each got about 5 minutes. Hannah Peach, you're going to go next. Are you the only one speaking for LEAP?
Yep.
Okay, and then I'm going to have James and Daisy for the Lighthouse if you guys want to queue in and get promoted. And then Leslie, if you want to speak for Perkins. Katie, if you can find them on Katie and Lori, I'm going to have you guys kind of just take control of the workshop for a few minutes. I have to step away in about 4 minutes to pick up something, but I'll be right back. So again, great presenters, great presentations. The one thing I do want to say, I was at the National Council for State Agencies for the Blind Conference in November, and their whole talk was on Pre ETS, and somebody had said that 1 out of every 3, basically 1/3 of the Pre ETS dollars and rehab dollars gets sent back to RSA every year because it's not spent. So find those creative ways to go after Voc Rehab to support these Pre ETS programs. They're so critical, and these programs really didn't exist in the numbers that they do these days. So I just want to underscore, please take advantage of these meetings and these programs and ask Voc Rehab to support them, because that'll help the unemployment rate go down. Hannah, you've got 5 minutes. Welcome, and tell us a little bit about LEAP.
Awesome. Thanks, Richard. Yeah, so I'll talk. LEAP stands for Learn, Earn, and Prosper. We are a Pre ETS service provider. We serve students primarily 14 through 24. And we have a variety of opportunities throughout the year. We do virtual paid work experiences each season, as well as a summer residential program and a few weekend retreats throughout the year. I'm going to talk about our summer virtual experiences today, just because our summer residential is already filled. We have a very exciting opportunity this summer. We received a grant from the Delta Gamma Foundation to offer some partial scholarships to some students from states that we have not yet worked with virtually. We're really excited about this, and I'm excited to share more with any counselors, vocational counselors who may have students that are interested and may want to take advantage of that. So we have a couple of paid work experiences going on this summer. We have a marketing content creator option where students have the opportunity to work with a consultant and interview and develop marketing skills and create content to be posted on our social media platforms, essentially promoting the program and our other programming, such as the residential program or the other virtual opportunities that we have during the summer. And both of these programs, I should mention, students are paid for up to 20 hours a week, either at the Vermont minimum wage or their sending state's minimum wage. And our second virtual option, is a kind of coding program. Students will work together to design and launch and code a computer app or like game, kind of an adventure style escape room format games for work readiness skills. They'll talk to the program manager and myself and my coworkers to learn what we really want to get out of the app. We hope to use it in future programming, future workshops for students to learn some of those skills. And with both of those paid work experiences, all students also have access to a variety of weekly work readiness and self-advocacy workshops. We also cover some career exploration in there. We have speakers come in. We've had some USABA athletes, some people from all kinds of different fields come in and speak on their journey to career readiness and how they navigate the working world. We talk about things like disability disclosure. We'll talk about building a resume, building a cover letter, all sorts of things. We do a lot of networking, a lot of community building in those workshops. And they're all included in the paid work experience, or they can be available as a separate program if students aren't quite ready for a full work experience. So it's kind of our basic overview. I'm going to stick my information as well as my coworker Sarah's information in the chat, and our website. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. I'm really excited to have this opportunity to share everything with you guys, and I hope to connect with some people soon.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate that information. Next, I think we have a couple other people on the panel. James, I believe.
Yes, Jamie Gump and Daisy Soto from Lighthouse.
Yes, so you both should be able to speak if you wish.
Daisy, would you like me to go first or would you like to?
I'll let you go first, then I'll go.
All right, thank you. So first off, thank you for inviting us to speak and share some information. We do only have about 5 minutes, and there's a lot of cool programs that Daisy and I have to speak about. So if you do have questions, we are welcome to take them after or contact us after the call. But so today I'm here to share with you some of the programs that I'm involved with camp or at EHC, Enchanted Hills Camp. Enchanted Hills Camp, for those that don't know, is a summer camp for the blind created by a blind woman back in 1950, and we've been serving the community ever since. It is very much your traditional summer camp, but everything is accessible and made for and made friendly for our community of blind and low vision students. One of the things that we really pride ourselves at Enchanted Hills Camp is that we like to raise our own and develop our own leadership within the blind community. And one of the programs that I have the honor to lead is our counselor and training program, which also incorporates leadership development. It's our program is the Summer Leadership Summit, and we not only develop the students to be successful CITs with the potential goal of becoming paid staff in the coming years, but also discuss leadership skills, and leadership communication and actions that students can use outside of the counselor space, such as employment or in future or in education. Beyond that, we have all your traditional summer camp programs and some really cool transition programs that Daisy is going to take a couple minutes to speak to.
Thank you, Jamie. So like Jamie mentioned, I'm going to primarily speak about one of our transition programs that takes place at the Lighthouse throughout the month of July. It's called the Yes, our Youth Employment Services Summer Academy. And it's very much focused on building pre-employment skills for students who are transition age. So tentatively 16 to 22 years old. But we do like to check in with each student. So if there's a student that's a bit older and may still benefit from some of these skill sets and some of these experiences, we are definitely open to that. And this is a 4-week program. It's going from July 2nd to 30th this year. And it's primarily hosted at Lighthouse for the Blind headquarters in San Francisco, with a few days taking place also at Enchanted Hills Camp. So students have the opportunity to practice living in a busy city, traveling through a busy city, utilizing public transit, working with different instructors such as O&M and living skills, etc., to work on those skill sets which are essential for employment. Students get an opportunity to build things like resumes and cover letter templates, hear from a variety of mentor spotlights, as well as meeting a lot of blind and low vision mentors that work at Enchanted Hills Camp when we visit. And the last 2 weeks of our Yes program are really cool because students get the opportunity to synthesize all of those skills and join work experiences. In the past, students have worked at our Lighthouse warehouse, Lighthouse Industries. They have worked at the SF Public Library. They've worked at museums and a variety of other different locations, and they get the opportunity to practice all of the different skill sets that come with working. So both attending the job and doing all that is needed to complete your tasks at work, but also commuting to and from work, packing your own lunch, picking your own outfits, all of those different things. Well, that's kind of a rundown of what yes, transition program looks like, and I'll put some more information and contact details in the chat, and I'm happy to answer any other questions.
Thank you so much. Appreciate that. And do feel free to put your information in the chat for everyone to find out more. That's greatly appreciated. All right.
And over to Leslie from Perkins.
Awesome. Hello, everyone. I'm going to actually turn this sideways so you get a whole piece of me here. Good afternoon, everyone. I think it's afternoon everywhere now. I'm delighted to be here. I'm here from Perkins School for the Blind, representing 2 transition programs that we have been running. One is called Compass, which is a 9-month virtual program for high school students, family members, and educators. What we call the learning triad. I'll describe that in just a moment. I also want to mention an additional program that's on the edge of transition for those young adults who are graduated from high school and so not qualifying for Pre ETS services most of the time anymore, but who are still seeking guidance. That program is a pilot program called Navigator, and I'll describe that briefly as well. I have my eye on the clock. So first, our first program is Compass. It is, as I mentioned, a 9-month virtual program. We've worked with students from 10 different states around the country that we're delighted to partner with. These are for high school students who are college aspiring, their family member, often a parent, but it doesn't have to be, and an educator, often a teacher of the visually impaired, but not all the time, because not all students have regular access to a TVI, as we well know. We use a coaching methodology that allows us to work one-on-one with each arm of the triad each week for up to 30 hours of one-on-one coaching for each arm of the triad over those 9 months. That allows for a lot of exploration and trust building between a coach and the participant. And we found it really helps promote a sense of safety for the student, and then a willingness to take risks. As we know, our students face needing to learn lots of new skills, trying new things, figuring out what their identity is in integrating, I want to be a kid, but I have a visual impairment. What does that mean? And how do I talk about it? The additional part of Compass that I think is one of the most impactful parts is a 3-hour, once a month weekend workshop, again, all virtual, where we bring in panels of individuals with lived experience to talk about their journeys, to talk about decisions that they made, decisions they wish they had made, their career exploration journeys, their exposure to and learning about the differences between high school services provided by IDEA and the obligations and rights and responsibilities of an adult operating under the ADA. These are things our adolescents and their families who are often operating in an isolated way with very little support really helps raise that information level and helps them make better informed decisions about the next step in their transition journey. We work very closely with vocational rehab counselors as well to make sure that we're coordinating and supporting planning for summer programs, like what so much of this presentation has been about. So Compass culminates in an writing of an action plan that the student writes with their coach that focuses on all the areas that are encompassed within the ECC, including the very important one of self-advocacy. And students are able to do that more effectively because they have a much deeper sense of themselves through the networking, community building, and association they have with their peers, and the connections they have with all of the panelists on all of the panels and the weekend workshops. A quote from one of our recent student participants who's just about to graduate from our program. The biggest thing has been the program has helped me identify the college process and things I hadn't thought of before. The coaching helped me get more of a perspective on myself And the program also helped me to mentally cope with all of this and learn how to take one piece at a time. A parent notes, this is awesome. I'm so glad we did this in 10th grade so we could begin to think proactively about next steps for my child, and so on. So it's a powerful model. It's Pre ETS qualified. If you have questions, I will post material in the chat for sure. The second program I wanted to talk about was trying to support those individuals who may have graduated from high school and may not be in a situation where they have a great deal of support around them and are trying to seek next steps for education, training, or access to a vocational rehab counselor. So that's a grant supported pilot program, and it's called Navigator. If you have a student who may be struggling in college or trying to figure out what to do next, if you know them, they're probably doing great. But if you have a student who may have very limited support, we have a program that could help move them forward in a short coaching series of coaching sessions, up to 10 sessions per student. And that's 100% virtual as well. So, and right now it's free because we really want to see if this model can work for an older cohort. So that is it. I will put materials in the chat. And again, this is Leslie Thatcher with Compass and Navigator, part of Perkins College Success Program, which is different than the Envision College Success Program. And happy to be participating in this project with them, in the transition conversation today with them. Thanks to APH and Rich for managing all this. It's been a great conversation today.
Thank you, Leslie. Appreciate it. I run into you at so many conferences.
Yeah.
Just 2 weeks ago. Yeah. So no, fantastic stuff. And if you haven't put stuff in the chat, I had to leave for a second. Somebody raised their hand. Do we know who that is, Katie?
Jessica, yep, you should be able to unmute and talk if you want to share something.
Yes, hi, good afternoon, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes. Are you with an agency?
I am, yes, hi. My name is Jessica Clark, and I am the vocational rehabilitation counselor. I work for the company Visions, which services all of our students in the New York State area.
All right, you've got 5 minutes, so go for it. Awesome.
All right, thank you. So just a little bit about Visions quickly. It was founded in 1926 by 6 women in Westchester County who wanted to give blind men an opportunity to spend a 2-week respite stay in our accessible environment. Visions has evolved over the years into the #1 organization placing blind and visually impaired New Yorkers in jobs for 6 weeks in a row. And our flagship vocational rehab center, the VRC, it houses the only residential pre-employment transition services program in New York State. Here, in addition to the other shorter term programming, we host two 15-week pre-ETS programs per year, where young adults with all levels of vision impairment, ages 18 to 21, learn to hone their skills in emotional intelligence, job exploration, workplace readiness, self-advocacy, post-secondary options, as well as college or vocational education, and engage in work-based learning experiences. Included in our incredibly demanding schedule is also a full curriculum of technology training at our in-house Assistive Technology Center, where participants of all ages and abilities learn to use technology in a way that is accessible to them so that they can perform their jobs, just like those of us who have full use of our vision. We also teach orientation and mobility, other living independent skills just for VRT, and we also have a financial literacy component within our program. After the completion of our pre-ETS program, our participants may be referred to our workforce development department, which engages additional training, interview practice, and learns together with a team with other visually impaired participants even more about the world of work. Services in the workforce department include job placement assessments, vocational skills training, work experience training, job coaching, long and short-term job placements, and other related services. So we have a full array of services that we provide for anyone in the state, the entire state of New York. So I am based in Rockland County, which is right above New York City, but we go all the way from the entire 5 boroughs of New York City to Buffalo. So all of those things, it's our programs are starting July 6th is our first Pre ETS summer program, and the second one will be in October. And part of the program for our Pre ETS is offering an hourly paid work experience training, which this internship helps the students gain relevant work experience through 80 to 100 hours of paid work experience training internship with our local businesses here, nonprofits or other community partners. It begins about week 10 of our program, and it's 20 to 25 hours a week during the program. And each participant will be a temporary hourly employee of Visions and is required to complete a full hiring Visions process before their paid internship. And students are paid the hourly rate here in Rockland County, as well as New York State's minimum wage requirements. So I am very happy to put my information in the chat for anyone. And if anyone has additional questions, please feel free to send something in the chat. And I appreciate this opportunity. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Appreciate it. I'm going to do one more call for folks in the audience. If you're a representative of an agency who provides Pre ETS and summer programming or year-round programming for transition students, let us know. We can have you speak and give a quick update. Don't be shy or bashful.
I'm not seeing any hands right now.
Wow. I want to thank again all of our presenters from hour 1 and hour 2. Again, our goal is to do this annually, as well as to host other programming that really focuses on those of you who are in the trenches working with students in high school and in college, preparing for the world of work at all stages. So we thank you that all you do. Sorry, Jaws was in my ear. We thank you for all that you do. And if you have any questions for those of us here at CareerConnect or any of the vendors who are still in the call, feel free to put them in the chat now. We'll hang out for about 5 more minutes. And if not, we'll go with the closing codes in about 2 or 3 minutes. And we do want to remind you that we have the survey that you can take. We would appreciate that. All our excellent information is there. And then the listserv, we put that in the chat earlier. And I saw some people sign up already. So that's exciting. And lots of new things coming on the horizon for CareerConnect, including our website. We are going to do this in March. Absolutely. As I said this at the beginning of the conversation, we realize this is a little later in the season. So we're going to plan for the call in January and schedule it in the first 2 weeks of March of 2024. So know that this will be archived on YouTube in about 2 weeks, right around the time Memorial Day rolls around. And Katie, why don't we go ahead and do the closing codes? Thank you all for attending.